Hello my gorgeous makeup loving friends, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi, my name is Teresa. I love all things makeup, beauty and skincare, so that leads to me buying an awful lot of makeup and beauty and skincare, but also trying it out. And I have to say, I have been quite lucky this year. I have found a lot of products that I have ended up loving. So today's video is all about my favorites that I have tried out for the first time this year. They may not necessarily be new products, but they were new to me. So if you are interested in finding out what are some of the standouts for me that I have tried this year, then this video. Do please keep on watching. So one of the first things that I wanted to talk about was foundation. I mean, it is the base for our face, and I've been trying out quite a few this year. I have quite combination skin. It's dry to normal. I get quite a few acne outbreaks, as you can see. I'm personally fine with it. I'm okay with the fact that I get acne. I think it's a very human thing, nothing to be annoyed about. But it did lead to me kind of trying a few different things to see what worked for me. And I have two favorites, right? One is a little bit more high end and one is super, super affordable. My favorite high end, and it was a toss up between the House Labs Tritone and the MAC Studio Radiance Serum Foundation. And in the end, the MAC Studio won for me. I'm actually wearing it right now. I love the finish. I love how weightless it is. You can build it up to have more coverage than what I have right now, but for me, it's perfect. It's the way that I personally like foundation. It's just beautiful. I've reached for it so many times. Any of these big occasions that I've had recently, I've worn it. I wore it for my anniversary. I wore it on several date nights, to the point that Sahil was like, "Oh, this might look better than your Dior," and I'm like, oh my goodness, which is a big thing for him to say. Absolutely love it. I wore it for Christmas Eve. I also brought it here to Mayo because I'm at my parents' at the moment, and it was the one foundation that I brought with me that I'm just like, I love it. Absolutely love it. If you can get it on sale, grab it on sale. It was my favorite. And then the other foundation that I really loved, it's not a new one at all, but it's new to me. It's the Wet n Wild Bare Focus Tinted Hydrator. Oh my goodness, it's so affordable. It gives you such a beautiful finish and it lasts throughout the day. I really loved it. I think the only reason why I go with the MAC more than the other is I literally gravitate that little bit more towards the MAC, but I really love the Wet n Wild. So frankly, you know, between the two, I'd be happy with either. They were my favorite in terms of foundations this year. I had such a good time with some of these. Those were my favorites though. I tried a huge amount of eyeshadow palettes, so it's kind of hard to whittle them down, but I have to mention this one. This is Gloss Gods, and they came out with two palettes at the same time. It was like their Changing Skies collection. Don't get me wrong, I like the Lavender Skies. However, it's the colour of rain that gets my heart. It's primarily multi-chromes. There's one black in there and the rest is multi-chromes. And I have just reached into that palette a couple of times and done a very simple look. And every single time I wear that, I get compliments because those multi-chromes are, they make me want to weep. They're absolutely incredible. Like, I hate how much I love them. I will say, this is my gripe with the brand, is because a lot of these multi-chromes are very soft, unfortunately, sometimes, it's usually these ones, arrive smashed, which is really annoying because for a lot of people, if you're in the UK, you're going to have to pay customs because this is a Swedish brand. I don't have to pay customs because I'm in Ireland. So I would kind of be a little bit careful on that. Now, I love it, absolutely love it. I am an affiliate with the brand, let's be 100% honest on it, but that was a standout to me. Absolutely love that palette. It's sold out at the moment. I checked again because I was like, oh, let's see, but it's sold out, and I can kind of see why. It is Such a good palette. The next one that I would kind of say is on a par with that is the Danessa Myricks Lightwork 5, and I'm kind of putting the two of them together. I was kind of reluctant to bring up the Danessa because it is limited edition, but honestly I do just love it. I do. This is a little bit better for like an everyday, bringing in some multi-chromes there, because there's a couple of neutrals in there. Yes, it costs quite a bit off the mark. It absolutely does. Let's not like beat around the bush here. It is on sale at the moment on Beauty Day. I'll have affiliate links, etc. down below. And I think that has an asterisk next to it is an affiliate link. Yeah, let's be super, super real on that. However, when you look at the fact that you're getting 18 shades for, it's on sale at the moment for like £98, it works out as being like a little over £5 per shade. And it's damn good. It's damn good. I've just gravitated a lot towards it. And I will say, when Sahil was doing my makeup, you may have seen that in a previous video, he wanted to go for the Danessas. He did. He's a bougie bee. He absolutely loves them. So for me, that was like a really big one. It's a toss-up in terms of multi-chrome palettes as to, did I prefer the Gloss Gods or did I prefer the Danessa? And I think I like them both for very, very different reasons, but they're absolutely spectacular. The next one then that I have to talk about, and this is a newer one to me, I believe it's on pre-order at the moment. Not everyone has gotten theirs. It's the Saints, Angels, Sinners collaboration with Not Your Basic Steph. It's called the Steph's Pure Palette, and I believe Viva You're Pretty is also involved in it. Absolutely stunning, right? It is not a matte heavy palette. I didn't want to kind of put that along with the Danessa and the Gloss Gods, because yes, it has multi-chrome, but it has shimmers and it has like these metallics in it, so it's not like just a multi-chrome. I love that it has different color stories, but each kind of row has a different formula. It reminds me a little bit of when Tati Beauty had their palette and they had like the different kind of formulas across that. Absolutely loved that. I don't think it's a one and done palette. It's very, very difficult to go in and just use that. You would have to use something else. But my goodness, the quality of it is absolutely spectacular. I really loved it. I know there tends to be an awful lot of sales on there, so keep a little eye out. I remember I got it for like 30% off, and I have like ordered one to do a giveaway with probably my YouTube members. I just thought it was absolutely spectacular. And then this one I kind of have to mention because I love it, and it's a favourite of mine for several different reasons. A, the quality is fabulous, but B, I got to be involved backstage in the making of this. Not that I like dictated how to do it or what to do, but I did get to give some feedback, and if you guys know and have watched my channel for a while, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's the Artitude Cosmetics Man-Eater palette. Oh my goodness. Love that palette. I of course have the original one, and I have like the newer one that is available to everyone else. I love that I asked for the addition of the black, and that black matte, oh my god, it might be the blackest matte ever. Might be the blackest matte ever. It is absolutely it's so good. So part of why I love that is just, you know, obviously the fun around speaking with Rux on that and kind of giving my feedback on that. I really loved that and having that creative process. But in general, I think it's actually just a fantastic palette. I will say there's two shades in there that look exactly the same on me, but when you see them on a deeper skin tone, they are very, very different shades. So I kind of love that. Beautiful palette. The other thing that I really ended up loving from Artitude Cosmetics came as part of their Abscission collection. Now, I liked the Abscission palette, but it hasn't quite made my favourites. It just is what it is. But I loved their silicone applicator set. There were three different sort of brushes. There's like a liner one, then there's like a broader one, then there's a smaller one. I use multi-chromes and general shimmers an awful lot, so oh my god, these applicators have been fantastic. I believe they're like €13 or something like that. Fantastic. Absolutely love them. They're some of my favourites. I was so glad to see that. And actually, speaking of additional favourites that are tools, this is a newer one. I actually have this on me because I did bring this with me. This, it's like a little paw. It's fabulous. This is the Mike Kitco Flexi Face Large Brush, and I use this for my foundation This was a recommendation from my gorgeous friend Daniela. She never steers me wrong. And oh my goodness, it's beautiful. Beautiful. I mean, what can I say? It's a brush. If you use brushes, you'll like this one. If you use sponges, you're not going to like it because you're a sponge hoe, and I respect that. In terms of lipsticks, I tried quite a few lipsticks, but you know me, guys, I'm terrible. I love red lipstick. It's just an issue with me. And Natasha Denona did their I Need a Rouge collection, and it just had two shades. There was Gigi and there was Amelia, and I cannot choose between the two of them. I can't. I wore Gigi recently on Christmas Eve and I got so many compliments on it. So there's a matching lip liner and a matching, they call it a lip stiletto. Beautiful. I love the two of those. I'll show you all these pictures right now. Absolutely stunning. I love them. Don't get me wrong, I've been getting into neutrals as well, but my heart will always be with a red lip, and I absolutely adored those. I can't help it. Absolutely stunning. While I'm talking about Natasha Denona, she came out with so many palettes this year. So many. Like, I can't keep up with her. I'm like, chill out, Natasha. Chill out. There's too much. But if I had to choose favourites, I have two favourites of her palettes. You're not going to be surprised. The Yucca. I loved that palette. The only thing I would change is in the bottom right hand corner, there's like this deep green that leans very blue. I would have had it be more like yellow leaning as a green, but I still think it's absolutely stunning. The formula's perfect. They blend beautifully. The different kind of finishes that you get in that palette, I mean, it's phenomenal. It's absolutely fabulous. The other Natasha Denona that I actually really loved, and you're going to be shocked with this one, was the I Need a Nude. I know I'm not normally a neutral gal, but I really gravitated towards this and I've gotten a huge amount of use out of it. I also ended up getting the Makeup by Maro Ethereal palette. And if you asked me which one I prefer, do I prefer the Makeup by Mario or do I prefer the Natasha? I prefer the Natasha. I do. I think it has a nicer finish to it. I never used the Makeup by Mario on camera. Like, I never did a video on it, but I have used it. So I would sooner go with the Natasha. I just prefer the formula on that. Again, you know, these things are very subjective. You may like the Makeup by Mario more. Totally fair. Totally fair. But for me, those are the two palettes from Natasha Denona and her huge back catalogue this year that I absolutely fawned over. Then this one came as a huge surprise to me. Anastasia Beverly Hills came out with their Fall Romance palette around about September, October. Oh my god. I love that palette. It blends itself. Is there anything spectacular or interesting about the colour story? No, not really. Not really. But it's kind of perfection. It's fabulous for fall and autumnal looks, and I love those sort of grungy tones. Do you know what? I'm gonna say it. If all of my Anastasia Beverly Hills went in the morning, that would be the first thing that I would repurchase from the eyeshadow collection, followed by the Cosmos. It would have to be that. I just think it's stunning. And again, I did a very simple look with it, but I got so many compliments. Absolutely loved it. I will say a lot of my decisions are based upon the external comments of other people, but I do absolutely love that. As you guys know, I am a little bit of a blush hoe. I can't help it. I love them. Now, I did try quite a few, but the ones that stand out to me as being my absolute tippity top favourite are the House Labs blushes. I know, I'm sorry, they're so expensive, but they're beautiful. They have fermented arnica in them. And the two shades that I really loved were Lavender Blonde, so that's the purpley one. I believe they said that was limited edition, but I think it's still over on their website. And Dragon Fruit Days, which is like more of a hot pink. And oh, I absolutely love those. I've tried quite a few things now from House Labs. I also tried out the bronzer. That's okay. It's fine. I will say I don't go gaga over bronzer, but those blushes, they're so buildable. They're beautiful. Like, definitely, if I had to choose anything from House Labs, I did like the foundation, don't get me wrong. It almost made my favourites. But if I had to choose anything from House Labs, it would be those blushes. 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10. Absolutely love them. Then I have to talk about highlighter, right? I was really trying to figure out what was my favourite highlighter, because there were two favourite brands. One came with the Ciate London Robert Welsh, yeah, the curated box. Oh my goodness, it's the dewy sticks. It's so beautiful, but it's really, really subtle. That is perfect for an everyday highlighter, looking really glowy, healthy, etc., but without looking sweaty. I love that. I was so surprised by that. I don't know why more people aren't talking about it. Robert was so right to put that in. Darn him. Darn him. It's absolutely stunning. The other one, I had to talk about this, have to. It's the Rare Beauty ones, the Silky Touch Positive Glow Lights. I have all of the shades. Yes, even the deeper one, Flaunt, which you're going to be like, Teresa, that's too deep on you. Yes, it is very deep, but I use it as a glowy blush. I actually pair that when I'm using my ABH Fall Romance. The two of them, the oranginess of that highlight as a blush is stunning. These highlighters are absolutely, I can't even, they are oh. If I had to start from scratch and had no other highlighters, and I had to start from scratch with a powder highlighter, it'd be those ones. I'd get rid of everything else. I'm not going to get rid of everything else, but I love them. I love them. I have to remind myself that I have other highlighters and not to just keep using those. But oh, they are beautiful, and you can make them be subtle, but you can also make them be like ridiculously blinding, can be seen from the moon. I do know that they have another one coming out. It's like a red one, and I talked about this ages ago in releases and rants, but it seems to have been like a proper sneak peek, to the point that the brand reached out to me and they were like, would you mind taking down your video? And I did, obviously, but it does look like they will have one coming out at some point, which I am very, very excited about. And I can't believe that I almost forgot about this brand. It is a newer one to my collection, but I have to talk about it. It's Cosmic Brushes. I feel like everything they do is just really, really strong. And this was their Winter Wonderland palette. Part of what I love about this is there's a shade in there, there's a multi-chrome in there that is a dead-on dupe of one of the shades from the Danessa Myrick Lightwork 3 palette, which blows my mind. The mattes are perfect, the shimmer is perfect, metallics perfect, everything perfect, price point fabulous. You know my gorgeous friend Tia. She's fabulous. I adore her so, so much. She has an affiliate code and link with them. It's Tia10. I obviously use that when I got it. I don't know if it's my favourite from Cosmic Brushes. I feel like the Muse was a little bit more my thing, but I think this was absolutely stunning, absolutely gorgeous. So it had to have an honourable mention in there. But the very last thing that I'm going to talk about as my favourites almost didn't make it in. Not because it's not good, but because it was such a late edition. And I'm so glad they did this. This is She Glam. They finally extended their chromosome collection. Thank goodness. So they came out with 3 extra liners, and they're so different to what they did before in terms of the tones. There's a lot more like bluey, greeny leaning, and there's one very like silvery one. Oh my goodness. Beautiful. Longevity, perfection. And I do have a video using those. They're fabulous. Can I talk about though the little chroma flakes? Right, I have very hooded eyelids, very, very hooded eyelids. I'm 33, turning 34 this year. I know, hard to believe, but I do get a lot of crepiness, so I get a lot of like wrinkling on the eyelids. So I find that sometimes when I have chroma flakes, like I love Danessa Myrick's, but her chroma flakes, I have to really work with them, tap them off to get them to not look like, how do I say it, male genitals on my eyes. But I find the She Glam ones fantastic, and I think they're like $6.99 each. Ridiculous. And I believe the eyeliners are like $3.49 each. Have to mention them. The eyeliners, ridiculous, so hard to get off. Like they are not budging from your waterline. They won't move. They won't move. The ones that came in the previous collection have been my ride or die for a really long time. Honest God, I prefer them to the Kaleidos ones. Yeah, I said it. I prefer them to the Kaleidos. And the fact that they've extended it to add an extra 3, hells yes. And those Chroma Flakes, fantastic. Absolutely loved them. But my gorgeous friends, that's it. Those were my absolute favourites of this year. I do have the worst of 2023. Thankfully, it's a much shorter list, much shorter. So keep a little eye out on that. Let me know, do you agree with what I chose? Did you have similar experiences? Did you have different experiences? Let me know down below. Are there things that you would recommend that I should try out? Because I'm always interested. But my gorgeous friends, thank you so much for watching. Do please like, comment and subscribe. Turn on that notification bell and do please share, because sharing is caring, except of course for STDs, in which case just wrap it up, don't be gross. But that's it, that's the end of the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.